Ankara summons American envoy over U.S. general's recent visit to northeast Syria. Turkish Foreign Minister asks U.S. Ambassador Jeff Flake to give an explanation about the visit of U.S. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley to the areas occupied by the YPJ and the PKK terror group in northeastern Syria. Turkey has summoned the American ambassador to Ankara and demanded an explanation over U.S. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley's visit to the regions occupied by the YPJ, the PKK terror group in northeastern Syria. Diplomatic sources told Anadolu Agency AA that Ambassador Jeff Flake was summoned to the Turkish Foreign Ministry on Monday over Milley's visit, says TRT World. Sources also said Flake was asked to give an explanation about the visit. Joint Staff spokesman Colonel David Butler told AA that General Milley visited northeast Syria today to meet with U.S. commanders and troops. While there, he received updates on the counter-ISIS mission and expected force protection measures and assessed repatriation efforts for the Al-Hol refugee camp, Butler added. U.S. support for the YPJ has long strained relations between Ankara and Washington. In its almost 40-year terror campaign against Turkey, the PKK, listed as terrorist organization by Turkey, the U.S. and the EU, has been responsible for the deaths of over 40,000 people, including women, children, and infants. The YPG is the Syrian affiliate of the PKK terror group. And from the Daily Sabah, Turkey summons U.S. envoy over general's visit to Syria's YPJ-held areas. The Foreign Ministry Monday summoned U.S. Ambassador to Ankara Jeff Flake over a top U.S. military officer's visit to a U.S. base in the area dominated by the PKK Syrian wing, the YPJ said, diplomatic sources. The sources said that ministry sought an explanation for the visit. Army General Mark Milley, chairperson of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, made the unannounced visit Saturday to assess a nearly 8-year-old mission there and to review safeguards for U.S. troops against potential attacks. About 900 U.S. troops are deployed in several bases and posts across northeastern Syria. Similarly, the Syrian Foreign Ministry condemned the visit. Official news agency Sana quoted a foreign ministry official as saying, Syria strongly condemns the illegal visit of the American chairperson of the Chiefs of Staff to an illegal American military base in northeast Syria. Milley's visit was a flagrant violation of the sovereignty and integrity of Syrian territory, the official added, according to Sana, calling on the U.S. administration to immediately cease its systematic and continued violation of international law and support for separatist arms groups. The PKK is a designated terrorist organization in the U.S., Turkey, and the European Union, and Washington's support for its Syrian affiliate, the YPJ, has been a major strain on bilateral relations with Ankara. The U.S. primarily partnered with YPJ in northeastern Syria to fight against the Daesh terrorist group. On the other hand, Turkey strongly opposed the YPG terrorist group's presence in northern Syria. Ankara has long objected to the U.S. support for the YPJ, a group that poses a threat to Turkey and terrorizes locals, destroying their homes and forcing them to flee.
Your inconsistencies are glaringly obvious.
Under the pretext of fighting Daesh, the U.S. has provided military training and given truckloads of military support to YPG terrorists, despite its NATO allies' security concerns. And from Daily News, that is HurriyetDailyNews.com, Ankara summons U.S. envoy over top U.S. soldiers' visit to North Syria. The Turkish Foreign Ministry has summoned United States Ambassador to Ankara Jeff Flake after the U.S. top soldiers' visit to northeastern Syria, where the U.S. troops are allying with the YPJ terror organization. According to diplomatic sources, Ambassador Flake was summoned to the foreign ministry on March 6 to get an explanation about the visit of Mark Milley, the U.S. Chief of General Staff, to southeastern Syria. Milley paid a snap visit to the region on March 4th, where he inspected the U.S. troops in the field with the YPJ under the title of the Syrian Democratic Forces. Turkey considers the YPJ as the PKK's associate in Syria and therefore terrorist. It's long been asking the U.S. to cease its partnership with the YPJ and start cooperation with the Turkish military in joint efforts to eradicate the presence of ISIL in the region. The U.S. maintains approximately 900 troops in Syria. While in the country, Milley also reviewed the ongoing repatriation efforts from the Al-Hol refugee camp, where it houses more than 60,000 displaced persons, including 25,000 children. And from yenisafak.com, Ankara summons Washington's envoy over U.S. general's recent visit to northeast Syria. U.S. Ambassador Jeff Flake summoned to Turkish Foreign Ministry on Monday over Milley's visit to regions occupied by YPJ and PKK terror group in Syria, diplomatic sources say. Turkey on Monday demanded an explanation over U.S. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley's visit to regions occupied by the YPJ-PKK terror group in northeastern Syria. According to diplomatic sources, U.S. Ambassador to Ankara Jeff Flake was summoned to the Turkish Foreign Ministry on Monday over Milley's visit. Sources also said Flake was asked to give an explanation about the visit. Joint Staff spokesman Colonel David Butler told Anadolu that General Milley visited northeastern Syria today to meet with U.S. commanders and troops. While there, he received updates on the counter-ISIS mission, inspected force protection measures, and assessed repatriation efforts for the Al-Hol refugee camp, Butler added. The YPJ is the Syrian affiliate of the PKK, a designated terror organization in the U.S. and Turkey. U.S. support for the YPJ has long-strained relations between Ankara and Washington. And watch this space. We'll be back with more news.